Hey guys, welcome to my channel and thank you for coming here if it's your first time. Today we are going to be talking about the Rage 2 gameplay trailer which was recently released this morning. If you saw my previous video, I said that we're going to be doing an in-depth analysis, and that is exactly what this video is about. Let's jump right in. So first off, in the very first frame we have a little sneak peek at the skill that we're going to have. The skill that the guy is using is Energy Push. The player is a ranger. This is what we know. If you go to the Bethesda website, it has a little statement. We're called Walker. He's the last surviving ranger. But what's interesting about this is he is fueled with Arcus blood, which is filled with nanites, which allows the ranger to superpower his weapons or to use special skills. With what we know from the skill tree so far is we have 3 skills, I do believe it is. We've got an Energy Push, and we also have one skill called Overdrive, which allows you to channel your nanites into your weapon and then overdrive your weapon, dealing more damage and also offering you a lot better loot from the dead enemies, and it also starts you regenerating your health. Now this suggests 2 things, this one statement in itself. The first one is that we're going to have a loot system. At least it's going to be similar to the previous Rage game where you will be picking up scavenged items to sell for ammo, but I'm hoping it will be much deeper than that. There's also a suggestion that the health here doesn't regenerate automatically in-game unless you are using Overdrive. Now this could mean that we're using consumables to regain health, or like previous Bethesda games where stereotypically you'd go to bed, go to sleep to regain your health. Or this could point out that you only regenerate health when you're outside of combat. Also note that he is using a pistol here, so we're going to have a little weapon count confirmed in the corner. And then in the next scene we have the first car chase, and it is quite obvious here that you are able to equip weapons to your vehicles, including in this moment homing rockets. It's also been confirmed that there are environmental hazards that you can use to your advantage. Take these simple but very effective exploding barrels. I know it's quite boring, we see them in lots of different games, but it suggests that we're going to have other environmental hazards as well that we can use to our advantage. Or, if you're not so clever, against you. Now here we have our first shot of a giant mutant, a bit like the behemoths from Fallout. Also note that the mutant has armor on its body. You will see later on that there are other mutant behemoths that don't have armor, or have more armor, or actually have weapons. So this could be a different type of enemy, or a different difficulty of enemy, or it could just be for aesthetic choice. Now take a look at this shot for a second. Just look at the beautiful scenery. Now compare it to the original game. It was very much desert and wasteland, but here you have this beautiful scenery, and if you look in the right corner there's also a little city, some skyscrapers in the background, which suggests you'll be able to visit there as well. Jumping over to the next scene, we see 2 raiders playing baseball with a grenade. Now we know later on there are grenade throwing enemies. Perhaps you will be able to use the bat as a weapon, and I'm hoping that you will be able to bat the grenades back to the enemy, and if so, this might even be an achievement for in-game. Now we also see a selection of enemy types, raiders, potentially the authority here, some other tribe who run around with shields, and we also have the mutants, which you will recognize from the first game. And there are also animals in-game. We know this because in one of the shots there is a dog with one of the raiders. Whether this will actually attack you, we don't know, but judging by going for a nitty-gritty, quite gory game, the chances are it will. Then we have the most interesting enemy to date in this game, for me anyway, which is the armless jetpack corpses that fire missiles at you. But that's the only real way I can describe it at the moment. And then in the next scene, we have a zombie! Well, to be fair, it's probably just a mutant, but we can hope, can't we? And then we have another giant mutant with even more armor. Now also note, on the previous scenes we saw a giant mutant destroying some kind of city. It wouldn't surprise me if it's up to you to defend the city. Also note the huge variety of environments we can play through here. Now in this scene we have a mind-blowing moment where we see an authority member with a power sword executing what I perceive to be some civilians. Now you don't see this in the original game. The original game, people were just getting on with their normal lives. You may have heard about the things that were going on, but you never saw it. This game is going for a much darker feel, and it's certainly coming across that way to us. Now as the music kicks in, we have the more action-packed half of the trailer. We start off with the Mutant Bash TV being confirmed. It's returning from the original game, where you basically killed waves of mutants. Also note in this shot that there is the combat shotgun being used once again, but with a new weapon skin. Also, the mutant explodes, which suggests either the mutants have been packed with explosives, which could make that game mode very interesting if you get swamped by mutants and you have to try and keep away from them while destroying them, or it could be that the shotgun actually fires explosive rounds. Either way, I'll be happy. We then have some mutants throwing firebombs, and then we have my favourite shot in the whole trailer. It's a mech with dual miniguns, and I'm really hoping that you can jump into one of these in-game, and it certainly looks like you can from this angle. However, I should note that you see this mech at the end of the trailer and you are fighting it, so don't get your hopes up like me. Now we get another shot of the vehicle combat. Now note that the car looks like it has Gatling guns on top of it, or possibly it's just a rack of missile launchers. Do note also that when the car fires, there's a white ring around the back of the enemy vehicle, which I believe is most likely the target lock. Now we get to see one of the Ranger skills in action. Could it be the power slam smushing the enemy into a nice red smoothie? We don't know. There's another shot later on which suggests that it's not it, but we will have to wait until we get some more information on that. We then get a nice shot of the wing stick slashing enemies, followed by a shot where the first assault rifle we saw in the video is glowing blue and hitting the enemy into the air. Now, could this be the overdrive ability that we read about earlier, or is this just the way the weapon performs normally, the way it operates? We don't know. Again, we're just going to have to speculate and wait for some more information, but it looks awesome nonetheless. We then have a shot of another mutant Bayonoff. This time he is armoured and using some kind of laser like Cyclops from the X-Men to kill all of the fighters. Now, in the next scene, we see the armless jetpack corpses firing the missiles at the player, and also a shot of the wind stick, which seems to be sticking around the enemy until it blows up, which suggests that the wing stick can be upgradable, or this might just be another skill that you can use with your nanites. We then move on to the shot which I mentioned, where we have the Grand Slam skill being used, and then we move on to one of my favourite clips where we're surrounded by enemies. Now finally we are brought to the last scene, where the player seems to not take any damage as he charges towards the mech. I wouldn't be surprised if this is the overdrive ability healing you as you charge in to take out a high-powered enemy with a powerful bash. That being said, it might just be another skill. All in all, this game is looking incredible and I can't wait to get my hands on it and to get my hands on some more information. So there you go, we had some really awesome gameplay and some really nice little snippets of information about the game. So if you did enjoy this video, please drop a thumbs up, it helps me out so much. And also, if you're interested in Rage 2, do let me know what it is you're most excited for. And not to forget, we do have E3 coming up next month. So if you do want to keep up to date with new trailers and gameplay analysis videos, if you want to have more news about the upcoming games of next year, which I'm so stoked for, or you just want to watch my videos, do make sure you hit that subscribe button. Anyway guys, thank you for watching. Ciao for now.